everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Miss Alexis. If you come over to my channel and if you so happen kind of go through some of my videos, if you like any of my content, I hope that you subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. This video, it's not a video to bash anybody. My channel is more on the more positive side. I give the downside, but then I also give an upside. But this video is about Kevin Samuels. And the title of this video is Women Stop Calling Into the Show. Women stop calling into the show. Because women who's actually calling into the show and who actually have some really real and good questions, they're calling into the show, but they're calling into the wrong show, and they're actually asking the wrong man to give them advice or to give them any kind of strategies that they can do. Because what I've learned is, and this is like a pattern or a trend, is that any woman that calls his show for anything, he's going to bring her down. He's going to make her feel less than, and women who are actually calling into the show and wanting to know about dating, and these are women who are experiencing different situations, because there's certain women that he go in on, and as soon as he may ask you a few questions like, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? Do you have kids? What kind of job do you do? And it's like women who kind of are answering those questions, it's like he's just ready to go in and basically with just the negativity. And this is my take on it. A lot of women, what I want to say is stop calling in to the show to argue with him. I've watched a few videos where women, somebody else had it tagged on their YouTube, and women were calling in and they were arguing with him. Like, they were calling into his show, arguing with him, and they were trying to get their point across. And I feel like if you're doing that, you're just wasting your time, because trying to get your point across and trying to tell him, oh, you don't uplift women, you just disrespect women and you just bring them down, that's falling on deaf ears. Because this is my take on it. I would never call into his show. Because if I called into his show, it would just be a waste of time for me, because I wouldn't get what I need to receive from his show. I don't know anyone in their right mind who will call somebody's show just to be put down, just to be told that you're less than, just to be placed on a rating scale, and he's telling you, oh, you think you're a 7 but you're a 2, oh, you think you're an 8 but you're a 3. Like, no. And women calling the show and arguing with him. This is my take on that. His belief, his perspective, his mindset, how he feels, what he thinks, his perspective, that is him. And if he feels like there's nothing wrong with that, as far as what his show represents and what he stands for, then calling the show and arguing with him, you're not getting anything accomplished. Because what he believes in and what he thinks and his view, and if he feels like there's nothing wrong with me, and if he's a man that's basically, it seems like to me, he's a man that's basically just like set in his ways, then calling his show and arguing with him, then you're just wasting your time, because it's not going to accomplish anything. Because the more you call his show and tell him how much you disagree with him, the more women are still going to be calling his show, and he's still going to be putting women down, still putting women on the rating scale. He's still going to tell women, if you're a single mom, you'll never get married. He's still going to tell women that when you go out on the date with a guy, if he's paying for the date, then you need to be expecting to give him your body when the date is over. He's still going to be teaching men on how to be high value and how to basically get women to do whatever you want them to do. So he's still going to do what he does. So calling his show and arguing with him is not going to, it's not doing any good. So just stop calling the show, you know. And a lot of the questions that women are calling into the show and that they are asking him, in my opinion, their answers to the questions that they're asking, the feedback that they're getting is just all negativity. You know what I'm saying? You know, that if you look a certain way, you know, if you don't have a certain thing, if you're not willing to do a certain thing, then you're not going to get this high value man. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get the high value man, don't expect that you are going to be the only woman, you know, telling women that you're not enough, you know, because if you get you a high value man, just expect, you know, him to be with other women. You know what I'm saying? And what I also notice about him too is that he's so quick, fast, in a hurry to really go in on the black women. Like, he always says that this is what gets me with you black women. So I don't know if he has a thing against black women, or he just sees us as less than. If he's had just some terrible and bad and hurtful experiences with black women, I don't know what that background is. I don't know that situation, but I just noticed that he's always like going in on the black women. And a lot of the stuff that kind of come on my YouTube feed is a lot of one-on-ones that he is having with black women. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a woman that's already struggling with like your self-worth and your self-value, like if you're already struggling with self-love and self-esteem, it's not going to do you any good calling his show and talking to him and trying to get advice. Because if you got low self-esteem, what he gives you is going to make it even lower. If you already struggling with self-love and self-value, then calling into his show and the feedback that you receive from him is just going to feed that you having that low self-esteem. It's just going to make it even lower, because the show and just the pattern and just this cycle, it doesn't encourage, it doesn't uplift, it doesn't give you any hope, you know. And this is what I want to say also too. Stop calling his show. Not only do I want to just say this, stop calling his show and arguing with him, trying to get your point across, because you're wasting your time. This man on YouTube, I don't know how his social media platforms are, but this man on YouTube is almost at 1 million subscribers. And men and women follow him. So if you get that many subscribers and all you hearing is, oh, you're just disrespecting women, he does not care. Because if he has that many subscribers, he feels like what he's doing is right. But I'm sort of blown away at that, because if you a woman, you know what I'm saying, they have all of these male groups and stuff that are coming together and that's being formed and that's being created, but they're teaching men how to just basically disrespect a woman and to just basically use her up and just basically get her to do whatever you want her to do. But if you are giving this type of information out to people, and you have all of these subscribers, and then many of them are women, I just want to say to us, like, where is your mindset at to think that this is okay to follow someone who goes in on women, who brings women down, who tells women that if you are a single parent and you have kids, then you need to be prepared to be by yourself and die alone. He put women on a rating scale. He puts the black women down. And then he's also teaching other men on how to treat women this way. Because I believe this, if you are a woman that's in your right mindset with the right spirit, and that you really love yourself and you have placed yourself at a higher standard, that woman would not be following that mess. Because she is not going to allow herself to agree with that. Because she sees herself as better than that. And she doesn't agree with a man telling her that she's less than, because she has placed herself at a higher standard. So she's not going to allow herself to sit under that teaching and listen to that and agree with that. So that kind of lets me know that it's a possibility that a lot of women that follow him, they just don't know who they are. You know what I mean? They just don't know who they are, and that they are really struggling with their self-esteem, struggling with their values, struggling in knowing who they are, knowing their worth. Because you're not going to agree with that. You're not going to open yourself up to receive that and to accept that when you know who you are and who you belong to. So it sounds like that a lot of these men that are coming forth, that they are even placing themselves or even thinking that they are even above the higher power. That they are even placing themselves and seeing themselves or thinking that they are higher than God. So us in our right minds, we should not be sitting under someone and agreeing with someone who's putting us down. We need to be placing ourselves in a position to be elevated and to be encouraged and to be strengthened and overcoming and defeating that low self-esteem and that low value and feeling less than and having that low self-love for yourself. But instead loving ourselves and having standards and creating boundaries and knowing that we are enough for one man, or that we're just enough, period. And that after that, going out on a date with a man, that you don't have to feel that you have to give him your body, because this is what Kevin Samuels is saying that women should do. Because this is what men expect. But you can't speak on every man. I do believe that there are many men that will expect that and that will want a woman to do that. And there's also men that really will expect a woman to do that. Like, if I didn't took you out on the date and I didn't pay for the date, after the date you need to be giving me you. So I just want to say that us women got to stop calling into his show and arguing with him, because it's not doing any good. He's still going to keep doing what he's doing. This man almost has 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So I believe he feels like, okay, if I got all of these subscribers and people following me, then I must be doing something right. I must be doing something good. But in my opinion, this type of information is just leading people astray. You know, leading people in the opposite direction. Leading people to just continue to be blind, in my opinion. The information and what he stands for and what he represents is just leading a whole larger people astray. And leading them to walk down a blind path, just blind, you know, completely blind, and not really aware of what's really going on here. And us women that follow him, This is just expect to get this when you call his show. Expect to be put down. Expect to be put on a rating scale. Expect to be talked down to. Expect to be told to give your body to a man. Expect to be told that a high value man is not going to want you. Expect to be told that you're fat and that you're overweight and that you're obese. Expect to be called out of your name, because I've heard him say that. I've heard him call women out of their names. But the women that he's calling out of their names, like calling them bees and stuff, are black women. Like, he really goes in hard on the black women, you know, to basically kind of just drag us through the mud, you know, and just really degrading us, you know, the black woman, the black women. Because this is like a pattern of behavior. This is a cycle of behavior. You know what I'm saying? So just expect that. And a lot of women that are calling into the show, they are asking like some really good questions, that they are really looking to get like some positive feedback. But women are calling the wrong show. Like, if you trying to get something positive, calling his show and talking to him and having a conversation with him, you are not going to get that positivity. So you're calling the wrong show and you're talking to the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. Expect to feel less than. Expect to be slaughtered. Expect to be killed. Expect to be brought down. Expect to be stomped on. Expect to be disrespected. Because that's all I'm seeing on his show. So something isn't right and something is completely off. Because a person with the right spirit and a person with the right mindset would not treat and talk down to women the way that he does. So that lets me know that he's not right. But women is still calling into the show. Women are still calling in, arguing with him and telling him, well, I just don't like what you do, and you're not giving women hope, and you're disrespecting women. He doesn't care what his perspective is, what his view is, what he believes, where his mindset is at, his spirit and all of that. That is what it is. And you calling into the show talking about how disrespectful he is not going to change a thing. We change because there's a willingness within inside of us that causes us and that compels us to change. But if we are just rooted down in our ways, I have to think of the word, rooted down in our ways, you calling the show and arguing with him is not going to do anything. You're just wasting your time and you thinking you're getting a point across. But all that's going to do, he's just still going to keep doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's almost, like I said before, he has a lot of subscribers on YouTube. Men and women. And even though he's a man that puts the black women down, he has a lot of black women that is subscribed to his channel. I'm sure. Because a lot of the conversations and things that I've seen him do, like the one-on-ones, have been with African American women, has been with black women. And I'm just saying, like, where is your mindset at? Like, what are you thinking that you feel like it's okay to follow someone who puts you down? Who just disrespects you? who tells you that you're less than and that no man is going to want you. And he's completely against the black women, and he's also against single mothers, because he'll jump up in a second and tell a mom who has children that she will never get a man. Like, no man is going to want you. And when it comes to this high value stuff, that's nothing. Like, a lot of the stuff they talking about with this high value stuff, I'm still like, huh? Like, that is nothing. So a lot of times when it comes to this high value stuff, they're just pumping it up and making it more than what it really is. But the reality of it is, it's nothing. It's nothing. Because you can have all of the worldly possessions. Like, you can have all the cars, and you can have the money, you can have the houses. But if you have a terrible, messed up spirit and attitude and character, then nobody cares about your car. Nobody cares about you being a six-figure person. Nobody cares about you being able to go out here and buy you anything you want. But that negative spirit, that negative attitude, and that poor character, in my opinion, is what matters. Not your house, not your car, not that you make six figures. So all this high value stuff that they're talking about is nothing. It's nothing. It's all about what you can gain from the world. That's what it is. You know, from his perspective and from his end, it's all about what you can gain from this world. That's all it is. But we know otherwise when it comes to kingdom. We know otherwise when it comes to kingdom. So that's just, well, I just wanted to, oops, sorry. I just wanted to do a video on that, about that women got to stop. Got to stop calling into his show and arguing with him and telling him that he's disrespecting women, because the reality of it is he doesn't care, because he's still going to continue to do what he's been doing, and he's going to continue to draw people to get on board with him, to lead them astray, and that they're incapable of actually seeing the truth. You know what I'm saying? So arguing with him and calling his show, that's not going to do any good. Women is calling him his show trying to receive feedback, but all the feedback that they're getting from him is just negative, just negative. You know, it's not positive. It's not to empower. It's not to uplift. It's to bring you down and make you feel less than. But like I said, a woman who's in her right mindset, who knows who she is, she's not going to allow a man, and she's not going to sit under a man who's dogging her out, disrespecting her, putting her down, and calling her out of her name. And that's the place where a lot of us women are still struggling with. Struggling with who we are. Struggling with our worth and our value. Struggling with creating boundaries and placing ourselves at a higher standard. A lot of us women are still struggling with that. And then also when it comes to the black women, how a lot of men, even men of our own race, are going in on us. You know, talking about us and bringing us down. So we do have to do better, and we do have to work on our personal development, and really tap into who we are, who we belong to, and what we have been purposed and called to do in the earth. So I just wanted to get on here and say that in regards to the Kevin Samuels, I'm just noticing just the advice and the feedback and things that he's given to women, and how women are calling in to his show and just arguing with him like, you're just wasting your time. I think what you have to do is you just have to basically, if you choose or if you just don't agree with his message, I mean, just don't subscribe to his channel, don't follow him, don't, just keep your distance, don't call into his show, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to get on here and say that. So like I said, that if you come over to my channel and if you see any of my content, I hope that you subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and anytime I upload a video that you will be notified. Thank you so much.